Well, hey everybody, welcome back to Clara's Boho Journal. This is video number 5 in this series, and I will link the playlist to this in the description so you can follow along all the videos from the start to the finish eventually of Clara's Boho Journal. This is done in a fantasy world of 1905, Victoria, Canada, and Clara is a young lady who loves all things colorful, boho, and things from abroad and things that she's collected. So let's work on this page. I've got the back side of a journal entry that I've done. That's that page, and this is in the spirit of junk journaling, a piece of junk mail. And I've done the no-sew signature, so there's my joining page there, or my joining strip. We are going to be making one of these ruffle fabric pockets together. This is one I did with recycled reusable fabric shopping bags made out of plastic. We're going to be using that. We're going to be using a ruffle, which I've already pre-sewn over here. I've got a journal entry that I've already written about Clara reading in the evening. She was reading Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. This is a trifold, just a collage. This is just strips of paper and a little bit of lace, and it's all just glued together, and that's it for that. Those are pretty easy. I've got another one of my receipt printables that I'm going to line the page with in some way. And then because she was talking about the water on the strait and the steamers and the ocean and travels, I thought we would put in this map of Vancouver Island, which is not like, this is just something that I got AI to do up for me, and it's not to scale or necessarily super realistic, but I thought it looked just kind of cute in its way, so we're going to work with that. I think, let's see, I'm gonna have this, I haven't super planned my page out yet. I have a rough idea. I think I want to have this just here, and then it's going to fold out. But I think, you know, I'm just going to go for something that's not super complicated to cover my junk mail page. And let's just start with this. And I could write something on the back of this as well. Whoopsie daisies. Let's try that again. I guess I'll have to rip it this way. And I might do that. I think I'm going to cut it because it's just not ripping. I just don't want to spend too much time. And I'm going to glue this. How about I'll glue it at the bottom. So I'm going to leave, there's going to be some white at the top, and I'll have to figure out what to do with that. Okay, I've got most of the offensive white taken off. I've got about that much to take off of the top. So no, I'm going to take it all off because then I'm just going to do something on the page. I don't want to have the white on the paper when I have control over that. Come on, what am I thinking? All right. Oh, looks like I backed this. Oh yeah, I double-sided printed this with some nice kind of antique, old-looking on the back. So if I'm going to have this straight on the page, then I think I'll fold it. Yeah, I want it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to put it on my page first, and then I'll decide where to fold it, and I can, because I just don't want to have to mess with too much excess junk mail showing. Okay, look at that. Mr. Lube and Tires is disappearing already, so that's good. My page opens, and that's always important. You don't want to glue yourself and then find that, you know, your book won't open anymore. Okay, just fold that there. So I got it going right to the edge, and then we can just do any kind of a fold placement that we like. And I can be rough with this because Clara's family through the generations has looked at this book, and it's been in a basement or an attic, and there's humidity, so some of the pages would have warped a little. Hopefully not gotten, you know, too moldy and yucky. That definitely happens near the ocean. Okay, that looks good. I like my fold is distressed looking. So I've almost got my junk mail dealt with. I think I'm gonna have this just go in like this. So I think I'm just gonna cover this up with this purple ruffle actually instead, because I want to use it. I don't want anything to impede the opening of the map, so it can't be super sticky outy. So this works well. I'm getting closer to the end of my book, so some of the ruffles and things that I've pre-made, you know, it gets to the point where now I need to use them. So there has to be some kind of a plan. Oop, okay. So that looks nice. I've just got that, got my map. Then let's make a fabric pocket together. This is on a base of some like cardstock. I'm gonna make it 3 by 5 1/4 because I have just a little gusset on either side so that I can put more things in it, and it won't, the pocket won't be too tight to hold everything in. So I'll just, maybe I'll make it 3 1/4. 3 1/4. And my cutter doesn't go, this is perfect. Okay. All I'm gonna do simply is fold this side here, and I'll fold a little bit at the bottom, and then that gives us lots of room to put goodies into this. And I am going to not sew on this part or this part, of course, when I'm sewing my things on, otherwise I'll lose this part here. And this one I've made with my recycled fabric shopping bag, so let's do the same thing again. Maybe I'll switch up the colors. And I'm sewing this on, but if you don't have a sewing machine, I have found that my tacky glue glues fabric to paper very well, or you could use fabric glue, some kind of strong glue, but I find that this even works. And so this can be done. I don't find this recycled plastic shopping bag glues super well, and that's why I've sewn it, but certainly regular fabric, cotton and stuff, glues down really nicely with just glue. So you can do all of this without sewing. All right, I'm gonna start with a black ruffle on the bottom. So here's my polypropylene bag, and I've already done some, oh yeah, ripping and cutting. So, ooh, okay. All right, look at it go. Oh, and I've got a handle that can be used for another ruffle. So let's just cut this part off here. And see what I want to use for this. This is going to be a little too much, and this does not rip nicely, doesn't rip with any kind of a grain, so it's kind of wild, but that's all right. I don't really mind because it's kind of makes it interesting. And And I'm gonna sew this off camera. Okay, so let's start with that one. I'll be right back. So we have our base, and you see how I've just made it kind of wild and fun. That's what my back looks like, and I have taken care not to sew my gussets in. So then, you know, you can go on top of that, or you could even go under that. Let's go with some red next and see how this one pulls. So that's not bad. And then maybe I might need it just a tiny bit more, and I'll just have a little more, and if I need it I can incorporate it, and if I don't need it then I won't need it. Ruffle number 2, and I love how wild this ends up being. I didn't need quite all of that, so let me see if I can. I think I can rip it, but I just need to give it a little head start. Okay, I'm gonna just leave it like this for now, and then we'll keep going. And yeah, I like how this goes over top. And then let's go, let's work in some blue. This is part of the handle, so I can just cut that there, snip that, and that should be enough. Oh yeah, I like how this one's evolving. It's looking pretty wild. And I'm sewing under. I think I might have sewn these ruffles more on top of this one, but I'm just, the way it's happening today, I'm sewing them more kind of underneath because my ruffles are so high, I guess. So let's stop with, let's just keep going because I want to just have it all be this. So top will be this. Just try to get it to come off without pulling the wrong way. Okay, here we go, last one. I love how these just look so wild when you do them. I have a tiny bit of Real Canadian Superstore white showing, so I just want to make sure that that goes down. So then I can start to tame this a little, see what I want. You know, I could have, this is going to fold down, so I don't know. You know what, I might, looks crazy. Looks like some kind of a ruffle explosion. We'll cut those off. We'll just tame this down a little bit. And, oh wow, yeah. Ooh, that's fun. Then I want to put a little bit of blingy stuff. So I've got my nice gusset ready to go. It's not going to, I didn't sew it in, and that's my sewing on the back, just, you know, 4 pretty straight seams. It might be nice to have something in behind that. Make it shiny and fancier. I'll just cut that about there. And I just love this so much. I think it's so nice. So maybe we'll run, I'm definitely going to have to put this in the journal now, but I don't know, the journal's getting pretty fat. Let's put this one on as well. So I think I'm going to just go in with the same little beads that I got. I just got these at a thrift store, and they were in a package of some other things. And I thought they looked kind of nice on the red one. So all I'm going to do with this is, you see how it's already, it was already detached when I got them. So I'm just going to shuffle these beads down like that. That's about the right amount. And then cut that off. And then I'm just going to do a bit of gluing along here. And then I'll have my threads sticking out the side, and so that I can wrap them around. And then I can just have the thread going around to the back. So, you know, just to keep it secure, because I'm putting it down without having the ends tied off. So I think, yeah, I love that. That is a wild and wonderful boho fabric pocket. So here we go. We've got two made now. You know, I mean, I like them both a lot. I don't know. I was going to use this one, but I think on this page I want to use this one. I don't know why. Just the shape of it is calling to me a little more. And I'm going to be putting this journal entry inside this pocket. And before I put this on, see, that's going to cover pretty much the whole page, the whole bottom of the page. And I've got my gusset so I can put even extra things in there. Oh yeah, that looks, oh, I like it. I like it. So let's just line this with this, because we got to have something. And yeah, there's some crazy. It's got Victoria with two eyes. That's okay. That's just the way it is. I tried to do some of this, you know, in Canva and desktop publishing, and it's just not my, it's not my strong suit. I don't have a super amount of patience for it, and I don't know, just to me it would require a lot of sitting and clicking and figuring things out over and over and over and over, and that's just doesn't match my bunny rabbit energy. So we're just going with a little bit, and I'm not using glue stick as much on this because things are become a little more wonky, wavy with glue stick, and I don't want my book to become super unruly. It's already, my book is already going to be really big and chunky, and every once in a while I set it under a heavy couple of books to just tame some of the fabric, because the fabric is new, of course, and it's very floofy. Like even these pockets, I put them under a book because they were just sticking up so much that, you know, I don't want my book to be a foot thick. That would just be excessive. I mean, thick is good, but there's a limit. Okay, so that's looking good. You know, I'm not doing a whole lot of fancy work with these pages, which is nice. I like to have a break from that because I can get myself like super bogged down in so much detail that it's fun for a time, and then you got to have a bit of a palette cleanser where you just, it looks great, but it doesn't take quite as much effort. Otherwise, it would take me 6 months to make this book, and I'm already thinking about the next one, so that's just not going to work either. I've just got glue on my little corners, and this is so, you know, three-dimensional that I just need to pay attention to what I'm doing as I'm gluing this down, because I want my bits of fabric to stick out, which is great. It just makes it a little bit harder to see what's going on. Okay, so I've finessed and finagled my nice ruffle pocket down. It's nicely stuck, and now I've got this lovely page of wistful travel, ocean, and my journal entry that can go in here, and there's lots of room in this pocket because this is also a little bit three-dimensional. And there we go, that's our page. Well, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.